Ooh, gosh, this thing really likes to be up in my face. It's funny because when I normally just take a picture or whatever, it's not this close to my business. Anyway, hello everybody. How are you? Another car video coming your way. Yay! Just what you always wanted. So it's been, I think, about 5 weeks since my last check-in, and I'm actually going to do this in 2 parts. I mean, it'll be 1 video, but yummy. I don't know how anybody can drink the chocolate or not the chocolate, the vanilla and the other flavors. Like, chocolate is where it's at for me when it comes to protein shakes. But so I wanted to kind of address, I think the last time I came in, I was talking to you guys about, oh, by the way, hi, Fly Girl Fitness, VSG, about me going to my surgeons and getting an update there about possible revision and just kind of having a general conversation and so on and so forth. So that happened 4 weeks ago today. So I will talk about that, and then I will come in with you guys after that appointment and let you know how that went. So let me start with the numbers. So I had surgery December 5th, 2013 with Dr. J. Jan at Legacy Good Samaritan Hospital. I had VSG. My I started the 2-week pre-op diet at 301.2. My highest, why is there a dog in the middle of the street? I don't like this very much. It's a very busy intersection, but it is waiting at the crosswalk like a nice dog to wait for traffic to subside. No. Hopefully somebody will see that and, sorry, squirrel. So 301.2, my highest recorded weight that I ever saw on the scale was 319. I weighed in day of surgery at 291.8, pardon me. And, the lowest post-op I got was about June 2015, about 18 months out, at 181.2. It's funny how I just remember that. Not even just 181. 181.2 was the lowest number I ever saw on the scale ever since like high school. Seriously. So my highest regained weight, it has been officially 248. So that is 57. I don't fucking know. It's a lot. 67 pounds. Ugh, Jesus. I don't know. I'm not doing the math. I don't really care about that right now. But, so I went into the surgeon's office a month ago today, and I met with Dr. Halpin, who is a different surgeon than who I had, not because I have any issues with Dr. J. Jan, just because I wanted to have a conversation with somebody different. Dr. Jan is obviously very smart and very awesome. I guess I wanted somebody a little bit more personable, and maybe somebody who didn't know me before, because, ooh, hi. Because, you know, there's a lot of shame going into that amount of regain and stuff, right? So I met with her, and it went very well. She and I had a very good conversation, and she kind of laid it out this way. And she was delightful. She said that there were basically 4 options to lose weight. She said, as of today, according to the BMI, you were 100 pounds overweight. And I was like, oh, okay. Great. And she says, okay, here's your options. If you do a duodenal switch, you can expect to lose between 60 and 80 pounds of that 100 pounds. If you do a Roux-en-Y, you can expect, and this is approximate, this is based on my memory, she didn't give this to me, but I'm going in the order of the best results to the least results. I'm not very hungry. But I'm not going to be able to eat for a couple hours, so I'm just getting something in. She said if you do a Roux-en-Y, you can expect to lose like 30 to 50 pounds of your regain, or of the 100 pounds that your excess body weight. If you re-sleeve, you can expect to lose, 30 to 40 pounds ish. And if we put you on drugs like phentermine, you can expect to lose 20 to 30 pounds. So from the most successful to the least successful, right? And so I said, okay. And she goes, let's do this. Let's get you on phentermine for now and see what that does. And I will only prescribe 30 days. I want you to come back. I want to see a barium swallow test to see what your sleeve and the status of all the things look like. Ugh, so I'm on my way to do that. And we'll talk more. And in the meantime, try to up your activity. At the time I had not started my workout program. I was focusing on getting steps, but I was at like 6,000 I was probably at 5,000 steps at that point because I started at like 3 or 4 and just had been slowly increasing. I'd only had the Fitbit for like 2 weeks at that point, so I was probably at 5,000 or so steps. That was my goal because I didn't focus on that, so I wasn't getting, I had to work to get that 5,000 steps. My goal now, for your reference, is 8,000. I've been blowing it out of the park, so it's been awesome. Okay, so other things. So she says, I want you to try, she put it in perspective. She goes, I tried to make my average steps 10,000, and I want you to try to make your average steps 10,000, but it took me a year to get there. Well, my average steps last week was 8,500, and my average steps so far this week, I don't know if it'll be the same today because I'm not exercising today, but is 10,000, is over 10,000 as an average for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week so far. So she says, come back in a month. We'll talk about the phentermine. We'll do the barium swallow test. And in the meantime, go ahead and go through your prerequisites for, through your insurance company of what you need to do for revision. So that includes a 90-day weight loss program through the center. Now, okay, hold on. Lots of information. So that would include monthly, so 3 appointments with a dietitian and the physical therapist. 1, I have to do like a 150 questionnaire like thing, and then immediately following meet with the on-site psychologist. So 1 of those, and so I've already had. Okay, wait. Keeping in mind that nowhere in Oregon does the duodenal switch. I believe that I heard of one person in the community that's had the duodenal switch at OHSU, but that is not a common practice, from what I understand. It's not something that surgeons offer. Again, I think that I don't know. I don't know much about that situation, but they don't offer it in Oregon as a general rule. So I would be referred out to San Francisco or Salt Lake City, or I could pay cash and go to Mexico, but my insurance will cover it, but I would have to travel. And if I were to have a revision, if I were to decide to have a revision, I would do the duodenal switch, I think. And I would go through insurance because it will only cost me like $5,000 versus whatever, travel to Mexico, accommodations, all of that stuff. So here's where I'm at. So the phentermine is not commonly prescribed. I had never heard of it before. Obviously, I've gone to my doctor 100 times over the years. He has prescribed me, when I was in college, he prescribed me that drug that makes you not absorb fat. So it makes like sharding a real thing, and it makes it makes expelling any fat you eat very interesting. So I started the phentermine the Monday after. She gave it to me. I filled it that day or the next day, but I was heading to San Francisco, so I didn't know. It comes with some pretty serious side effects. Increased blood pressure, which, because I've gained weight, I'm back on blood pressure medication, so having to monitor that. It kind of messes with, it could increase your heart rate. It can mess with your sleep, which it definitely has. And it's apparently could be addictive. It kind of acts as a amphetamine in your system. I don't know that it is an amphetamine, but it is a stimulant. I don't know if it's actually like legit. I don't know a lot about it. I don't even really know how it works. Like, I literally did research on phentermine last night. I have talked to Gracie about it, obviously, as a nurse practitioner, like her thoughts on it and stuff. And So here's what it's done for me. It's actually been a huge game changer for me. As of today, I am 138.4. That is a 9.6 pound loss since I started this drug not even 4 weeks ago. Not even full 4 weeks, like 3.5 weeks, because I started it on a Monday. I have only taken 2 days of a full dose. I have been on half a dose the entire time, mainly because sleep is important and I can't do my job or live my life or work out the way, I mean, not that I'm working out very intensely, but I can't really do all those things if I'm getting poor sleep. I have had issues with sleep, but the 2 days that I took the full dose, it was bad. It was like sleep 2 hours, up 2 hours, sleep 2 hours, up 2 hours. And I'm like, I can't live like that. So the phentermine was prescribed as a full dose, but you ease up into it. So you take half a pill for the first week and then go up to a full dose after that. So again, I tried the full dose, but it didn't settle well with me. And I felt definitely like jittery and like, so a half a dose has been perfect for me. I definitely feel the effects of it. I don't know that this is accurate, but it almost feels like it, okay, so let me tell you my experience with it so far. It's been amazing. And I know it's not easily prescribed and you have to be, it has to be in conjunction with a healthy diet and, fitness routine. And apparently it can't be your only method of trying to lose weight. So because it, usually they put you on it for, 3 months and then take you off for a month. And then, it's not meant for long-term use, right? It definitely has been an appetite suppressant, which has allowed me to do intermittent fasting. Now, I am not necessarily eating strict keto. It seems like, and I'm not trying to, but it does seem like I'm eating that way more on accident. Like I'm still getting anywhere between 70 and 100 grams of protein a day, but I'm also seemingly at like 50 to 70% fat just because I eat a lot of avocados and I've been using heavy whipping cream in my coffee because I'm fasting, right? So I don't want that insulin to go up. So it's allowed me to not be hungry in the morning to do a 16-8 fast. So, and that's what I've been doing for the last 3.5 weeks. For most days, I'd say 6 out of 7 days, I stop eating at 7 or 7:30 and I start eating at 11 or 11:30. So it's usually like 16 and a half hours of fasting. And then I eat 3 meals in 8 hours. Hold on, I have to follow my instructions here. Oh, really? Shoot. Okay. The freeway is closed in Portland, so I have to take this alternate route. It's fantastic. And apparently there's a lot of traffic at 10:30 in the morning. I don't know what everyone is doing. Probably using alternate routes. Okay, so appetite suppressant for sure. It has made me pretty uninterested in food. Like sometimes for like lunch, I usually eat breakfast between 11, 11:30, 11:45, sometimes noon, not very often though. And then I'll eat lunch between 2:30 and 3, and then I'll eat dinner between 6 and 7. And they're like, and I am definitely more, my restriction has been strong. So my meals are smaller, which has been great. Portion control has been easy to manage, which is weird for me. I mean, like portion control has always been my thing, even with restriction. And so restriction, appetite suppressant. Oh, and I'll forget to eat. Like I'll be like, oh, I haven't eaten and I feel like, oh, like I should eat something. But, like yesterday I had a Scotch egg for lunch, like 1 egg, and, it was like 200 calories. Like and I ate it over the course of like an hour. Like I just couldn't quite get it. Sorry. In my system. And then I had a yum bowl for dinner, and I kind of ate half of it and let it sit for a while and then kind of nibbled on the other half, and then I was done. But so I just don't care as much about food. I'm not like putting my whole life around food. Like today I'm doing this thing, I won't be home until after dinner. I have dinner plans with Kirk tonight, And, you know, I'll get lunch when I get lunch. This is going to be my breakfast. Like, I'm like, well, whatever, it'll be fine. It's weird. I also have not been motivated to drink, which is a huge thing. So, out of the 3 weeks, I've had 2 strong weeks on the drinking front. The first week I didn't drink at all during the week, and then I had some drinks on both weekend days. The second week, how long am I? 15 minutes already? Jesus fuck. So long. Sorry, guys. The second week, I only had a drink 1 weekend day, so I went 6 out of 7 drinks without drinking. 6 out of 7 days without drinking. And then the third week, I had more of a challenge. I only went 2 days without drinking, but I wasn't like getting wasted every time. So I did meet up with Emily, VSG. She is lovely. She's from Michigan. And I'm sure you saw the post that I posted of her and I at dinner last week. And so like I didn't drink Sunday or Monday, but I had you know, a little bit with her and food, and then I didn't drink the next day, but I drank anyway. So it was a little bit more challenging last week. This week I've had 1 glass of wine at dinner out. So, but that's a huge deal. Like not ordering a second or third drink, not drinking at home during the week. Those are all really huge successes for me. So, I've noticed that I drop weight on Wednesdays or Thursdays. I'm back up to whatever the previous weight number was on Monday, and then I flush again. So like last week I weighed in at 239.8, and then I was up to 241 on Monday, and then down to 238.4. So down 1.4 pounds since last, you know, so that's been my cycle. But yeah, I almost feel like it's blocking some of the pleasure centers. Like when I'm drinking or eating, I'm not like, oh my God, I'm so like all the dopamine isn't being released. I don't know that that's true, but, it feels that way, if that makes sense. Jesus, what the fuck are you guys talking about? He's just trying to let somebody in and like keeps honking at him. Okay, so that's pretty much my update. Is the phentermine is amazing for me. Of course, everyone I've talked to is like, I want to get on it. I was like, you have 20 pounds to lose. Like, no one's going to prescribe it for you. I'm sorry. So I'm on my way to do the barium swallow test just to see how everything is looking on the inside. I go have my update with Dr. Halpin. I hope that she will prescribe it for another 30 days. And talk to her a little bit about the limitations of how long I can be on it, what will happen when I get off, or if, you know, and so on. It would be great if I could lose enough weight to kind of get some of these habits down regarding fasting and drinking, and hopefully the second I get off phentermine, I won't just be like hungry all the time again. I mean, I think that's pretty much what's going to happen, but you know, maybe my body will be a little bit more conditioned to not eat for those 16 hours or 17 hours or whatever. So that's my hope. Looking forward to meeting with her, and after my appointment, I will connect back with you guys and let you know how it went. I promise not to make it a 30-minute video. Okay, bye. Guys, hello again. Okay, I'm back. It is now 2 o'clock, 2:10. Not that you care, but it has been a few hours since I was into you earlier. The first thing I did this morning after I talked to you was go and get my barium swallow test. It was much easier than the first time I did it after surgery. Much different solution, so bearable for sure. My sleeve looks perfectly normal for being almost 5 years post-op, so a little bit bigger than it would be were it brand new, but completely normal, absolutely beautiful. And there is a little area of stretch where this esophagus is, but it's not so much stretch as it is like from overeating, as it has to do with just how surgeons build sleeves to prevent the most common area of where leaks happen. And over time, that ends up turning into this kind of little bit of a bulbous, right, where your the top of your stomach meets your esophagus. So totally normal. And yeah, I got to see the pictures. They were really cool. Let's see, what else? So then I had some time to kill because the surgeon wasn't there yet, which is fine. So I went and had a crepe, or half a crepe actually, with bacon and eggs and cheese, and it was delicious. And I had a coffee and all the things. Let's see, where am I right now? Ice, cold beer, and wine. Okay, so I can go over there if I need to later. Food carts to hang out. Because I am here early to my hair appointment, like 45 minutes. Okay, so other news. I don't like it when you are driving and they tell you that you have to back into a spot. I am like the worst backer-upper of like possibly all time. Even with a review. Yeah, see, I'm literally taking up 2 spaces. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm babbling. So yes, stomach looks great. Super exciting. Sorry, kids. Okay. It would make sense for me to leave another parking space for somebody else. Okay. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm just gonna open my door for some lights off. Okay. So then I met with the surgeon to talk about the phentermine. She's super pleased with the fact that not only have I lost almost 10 pounds, but, that I am down, which their scale didn't show. Their scale only showed 5-pound loss, but I told them, like, after the barium test, she told me to drink a bunch of water, so I drank a bunch of water and had lunch, or breakfast. So clearly, not a great representation, but I told her what I started at on my scale and what it was this morning, and she was very pleased. She was pleased with my diet, with my increase in activity, with my averaging 8,500 steps a day. She was very happy about that. And, get some air here. And I'm down 2% body fat in 4 weeks. I mean, I'm really tickled pink about that. Really tickled pink. So she prescribed another 90 days of the phentermine. Not 90, 60 days. So 90 days total. I'll go back in 2 months and talk to her about what we do from here. She agrees that if I can get the phentermine to work for me, and like it is, and continue down this path, it would be best for me to not get a revision. She would hate to see that. I also would hate to see that. So I love that she's on the same page and not pushing me to do that. So that's good. I do have the Salt Lake City, Utah surgeon's name, so I can look that up and do some research from an insurance coverage perspective should I decide to move forward with that. But it looks like I will, hopefully, fingers crossed, that that's not going to be something I'll need to do. So, yeah, yay. Very happy, very good news. I find that Dr. Halpin absolutely delightful. And yeah, so it's a good day. Also, blood pressure was like phenomenal. And I told her, she goes, well, it doesn't affect everybody that way. It's just a possible side effect. I was like, that's good. And I told her that I felt calm on it. And she's like, that's interesting because they use stimulants to calm down people with ADHD. I was like, well, I've never been diagnosed with ADHD and no one's ever talked to me about that. So I don't know. And she goes, I don't really work. Obviously, she's a bariatric surgeon. She doesn't work with people with ADHD, but she's like, it's very interesting that this affects you that way. And I said, I don't necessarily have increased energy, but I do have increased motivation. And she goes, yeah, but that's what ADHD medication does, is it as a stimulant with somebody has a stimulated brain, like it just helps you focus. And I was like, yeah. So like, instead of sitting on the couch and knitting and watching TV and dinking on my phone, like I cleaned the closet yesterday, and I did a bunch of errands around the house. And so like my energy was a little high yesterday, higher than normal, but, yeah, it's very interesting. This is a very interesting time. So anyway, I'm off to get my hair done in a little bit and dinner with Kirky tonight. And I hope you guys are doing great. I appreciate you checking in with me and your support. And stay tuned for the next level of adventure. I'll come in another month or so. Okay, bye.